Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to Supersize Your Business No Nonsense November tip and tool. Our daily tip and tool this month for No Nonsense November, number 12. Today we're talking about practicing Stoicism. Now, the first thing I thought of when I was reviewing these was, okay, am I really very stoic? And the truth is, I don't think I am. I like to think I'm super optimistic and positive, but the underlying truth is that I have got this negative streak that I battle all the time, and I think a lot of us do, that is very stoic. And I always call it realistic, right? I don't think I'm negative. I think I'm being realistic. I don't think I'm pointing out what could happen bad. I think I'm being realistic. I'm trying to keep everybody safe and keep business and life cranking along in a positive way. But sometimes it comes off as negative, which can also be called stoic or stoicism. So today our tip and tool is to practice stoicism. And by stoicism, I'm going to give you 5 areas that I think we should consider for stoicism, which takes it from being a negative thing or a downer to something that really can help us as a building block and tool for building and growing and supersizing our business and making our life a whole lot better as well. We can use it for decision making. We can use it for analyzing things. And I'll go through the 5 areas that I think are important with respect to stoicism. Number 1, it allows us to focus on things that we can control. Guess what? There are a whole lot of things out there in the world that happen all the time that we have to deal with in our life as well as in our business that we have zero control over. For the vast majority of us, the only control over we had over the presidential election was, did we get out and vote? Did we go out and vote for the candidate that we think is best for the United States? And that answer is either yes or no. And if you didn't vote, please don't get online and complain about it to everybody else that your candidate that you like did or didn't win if you didn't even participate in the process in a way that we have the control over. So stoicism to me is all about focusing on what we can control and letting go of the rest. So what can we control? Our emotions, our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, what we say and do, how we show up in the world. There's a bunch of memes that have gone around over the last, since the internet's existed probably, that are like, here's all the things that cost you nothing or that you have control over. Your happiness. Nobody controls your happiness or any of your other emotions but you. And this applies to our business as well. Each of our businesses have a temperature and a culture and a level of positivity or negativity, stoicism and optimism. And it's up to us to set the tone for that. Secondly, with respect to stoicism, it encourages us to embrace the present moment, be present, and have something called amor fati, or however you pronounce that. I think it's probably, oh my goodness. Lost my train of thought totally. Anyway, it means love of fate. Love what happens no matter what it is. No matter what it is, it shows up for us, believe it or not, for a reason. It doesn't always feel like it at the time. I mean, if somebody files a lawsuit on your business, it doesn't feel like that showed up for you, but there's always a lesson in every challenge, every situation that happens in our business that is there to teach us or show us something. Maybe it's that we're missing an important component in our business that needs to be added. Maybe it's we just hired the wrong person and they were an absolute jerk, and so now they're trying to sue us. Or maybe we're having to sue them because they stole a bunch of intellectual property even though they signed a non-compete agreement. All kinds of crazy things happen in the business world. Thirdly, we want to practice negative visualization. And this one for me, I've done it for a long time, although I resisted it for ages because I'm like, well, if I focus on the negative more, then that's what I'm going to create. But I use it now as part of my decision-making process as just a quick once over step to say, okay, what is the absolute positive worst that can happen in this situation, right? And if that were to happen, can I live with it? Or can our business survive? And that's a slightly different tweak. I always go, can I live with it? Can I deal with it? Can I handle it? And then, can the business survive this? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. And so if the worst case scenario is something we can't live with, then we need to do what we can in the present moment and control what we can to make sure that worst case scenario never happens. But we want to have an idea of what the worst case scenario is in our mind so that we can prepare for it, so we can plan for it, so we can ensure that it does not happen. So that's the practice of negative visualization. And we have it literally as one of our decision-making steps. Okay, what are the upsides of this choice or this alternative or this project? Okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? What are the downsides? What if it takes us 2 years instead of 3 months to actually make this change? What would the impact of that be, etc.? Fourth, we want to cultivate gratitude. We talk about gratitude all the time for a reason, because it is such a powerful way to create what we want. I think practicing gratitude is like the opposite of practicing negative visualization or doing a negative visualization. It's focusing on what is right now and appreciating it. And to me, it's a positive aspect of Stoicism. And then finally, we want to practice self-control and moderation, right? And again, I'm reminded of our current situation in America, where there are a lot of people not practicing self-control or moderation. And it's really sad, because there are people that we've been in relationships, literally, some of us our entire lives, and people are just wackadoodle in terms of the response to things that are 100% outside of their control, right? Once we voted and the election's over, for the most part, that is the end of our control. We can only control ourselves. And so we want to act in a positive, moderate way that we won't regret. That's my advice for the day. So, are you practicing Stoicism? There's a tool called the Daily Stoic, and I just signed up for it last night, so I haven't experienced it yet. It's available both on the computer and on our phones, but I don't see very well, so I try not to do very many apps on my phone. But it supposedly sends us a daily email from the Daily Stoic. So I'm curious to experience that and see how that plays out. If you have experience with that, hit me up and share with me what your experience has been, because I'm just curious. And it's one of those things I might do for a little while and say, okay, I've gotten some value out of this tool, but it's not worth the investment of my time looking at it every day. And otherwise, I might add it to my daily routine. Who knows? So that is our topic for today. How stoic are you? Do you practice Stoicism in your business? Do you do negative visualization? Do you focus on the present moment? Do you practice gratitude? Do you behave in ways that are moderate and that you won't regret someday? Do you focus on what you can control? Those are all things that we can do right now, and they don't cost us anything. And they're a great tool for supersizing and growing our business. Thus, the inclusion in the No Nonsense November tip and tool. Have an awesome day. If I can help you, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.